jigging. I know y'all be doing it like, what is it called? The juice?
Yeah,
y'all be jigging, but I'll be having y'all jigging, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to go ahead and get that mix in, and you know, like Florida and Louisiana, I think we always had like something in common now. I didn't grow up listening to Trina because of who she is. My mama didn't really. We listened to gospel growing up.
Yeah, same
but
way.
we listened to gospel. So I didn't grow up listening to her. But when I came, you know, down here, I'm like, dang, she had such a big impact on my Louisiana life, and I didn't even know that. So we all connected. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. You know, the Hot Boys and all the music coming down south. So that's good. So what the boot represent from Louisiana for those that never been over there? Because I myself never been to Louisiana.
What?
Yeah, I never been over there.
No.
So I want to visit because, you know, I have my background, you know, I have Haitian background. So I would like to see the connection, you know, where my culture come from, and see some of the, you know, the Creole, and I think the French quarters, and some of the jazz traditional music. So tell us about Louisiana and some of the places you can.
You know, most times I say Louisiana, the first thing people think of is NOLA. You know, I tell people I'm from Louisiana, they be like, oh, you from NOLA? I'm like, hold on. So I'm about like 3 hours from New Orleans. So when you come more down towards like I-10, you start hitting places like Baton Rouge, Lafayette, you know, Lake Charles.
So Louisiana is different from...
Right, that's the boot.
See,
because the state is shaped in the boot. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's why you say bottom of the boot. Okay,
right. It's shaped like a boot. Right. We from the bottom, so yeah. But for sure though.
All right, so you gotta pass Baton Rouge.
Yeah, you gotta come down. You gotta pass the Lafayette. You gotta make it to me, Lake Charles, and you know, like I said, we're about 3 hours from there. But I also got a little bit of Houston, you know, a little Texas in me too. That's another part of my style. You know, because I'm like, my hometown is like 2 hours from Houston. You know, so it's like that flavor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Same thing like Florida. We got some folks that's connected with people in Georgia.
Right.
Some folks that's African American. They got family cousins over there. So there's still connections from down south like Miami and Atlanta.
True.
You know, a lot of young folks from my generation moved up there nowadays. So yeah, it's a deep connection.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, so what's some of the you know, things that especially with the young generation and the lingo and the you know, every generation have their own way of moving and talking, and what's New Orleans? Because Miami, we like you say, we jug. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got different hustles. Everybody got, you know, down here we multicultural. Like everybody have their own multicultural aspect to their city. So us as Caribbeans, you know what I mean? We have with the Caribbean food, the music. So what's New Orleans like? What's the different connection? Who we gonna run into when we go over there?
So that's what I wanted to tell you. Like that's what I was trying to tell you. New Orleans style is what you're talking about. That jazz type of like, you know, that Mardi Gras. You get that band type of like flavor from them. But when you come more, because that's New Orleans and they got that bounce too. It's more of like a you know, bounce type of like dancing type of music. But when you come more towards down my way, you get a little bow, you get that in there, it's like bow, then we start jigging, you know. So it's a little different once you start hitting I-10. You get different flavors because you start off when you're coming from Florida, you hit Mississippi, and then you get in New Orleans, and then you got that country. You still got the boots your boots on the ground, but they doing, you know, they doing line dances out there. They doing, you know, the jazz, Zydeco and stuff like that. But more my way, we definitely got some club bangers. It's more of a.
So if young folks want to go to the club out there and they want to, you know, link up and know what's the hot spot to go to, like what spot you would tell them to go to, like 3 spots that you know, like yo, come to this spot. And here for the food, and here for the clubs, and here for the
So I'm gonna name the cities because it's better to name the cities. So first stop, you know, you want to stop Lake Charles, Louisiana. I'm gonna put my city on the map at all times at 337. You know what I'm saying? You got good foods, you got good eats, you got good people. You know what I'm saying? The people out there different. We know a little bit about hospitality. You know, people. They give you their shirt off the back. You ain't get us a stranger. You know what I'm saying? You don't even gotta really know them. So. You gotta stop in Lake Charles, get some food, get some good music. You know, we got our Zydeco, you got the horses, you can hit a trail ride, you can go mud riding if you want, you know what I'm saying? And then I would also say stop in Lafayette because that's a lot of underground artists too in that area. And they all hard, they all just waiting for their moment, you know what I'm saying? If you know anything about Louisiana artists, you got Lil Wayne coming out of it, you got Lil Boosie, you got Webb, you got Grace, like that's people that's on my that's on my life, you know. So it's like
especially if it's Southern music, like it's down south, like everybody that's from Miami down south, you know, knowing all the New Orleans rappers, definitely Webby and Boosie and all them boys, you know, definitely made an impact on the culture. So, you know, what you gonna bring to the table, knowing that, you know, New Orleans have a legacy of different great artists coming out of that city. What type of vibe you gonna bring? Because I know the new generation, we on another vibe. Yeah. We more digital with it. Now we streaming. Now we, you know, duetting. Now we doing things, jits. Yeah. You know, so matter of fact, where you all right. Answer that question. I'm asking you another question. What you gonna bring to the table?
So I'm not gonna hold you. I got some R&B underneath me. Like most of my tracks right now are literally R&B. I just haven't released it yet because I'm trying to, you know, build up that room to go ahead and give y'all what I got. But you know, I kind of just wanted to wake up the world and show them like I'm here. You know, that's the music that I'm dropping now. It's just to pretty much grab the attention of any room I step in. When I play it, I'm like, you know what, I'm here. Yeah. But then I'm gonna start gradually dropping more stuff that feel a little bit more closer to home to me. Like I said, back home they on that pile. Yeah, everything is jigging, but I've never been that person. Like my clubbing years just started. You know what I'm saying? I'm auntie. Like I'm the cool auntie for my nieces and nephews. You know what I'm saying? So. All of that jig and all of that, that's not even part of my lingo. It's never been.
So what's the lingo over there? Yeah.
Oh, everything, baby.
Baby.
Everything, baby. You baby, she baby, our mama. You ain't even gotta be a baby. You could be a grown ass man and you still baby, you know. So, but yeah, that's just what I have to bring to the table. I actually have like I don't know exactly if I have a genre yet because I have country. I have. Oh my God! Like I have so much rock. Like I have so much stuff that I didn't. Attached rap to. I'm like, dang it, I make my own genre. Sometimes when I get to listening to my music, I'm like, I don't even know why I fit, you know. So
so you're gonna give the world a different
surprise, right.
All right. So so some of the tracks you already just this one Bottom of the Boot. Have you gotten a chance? You said you did a performance.
I performed.
How was that?
That's my free song. You know what I'm saying? I go ahead and I performed that. Yeah, I performed it in Miami, all up and down and around.
You multiple times?
Man, yeah, I done been all up and down and around. I'm talking nice. I didn't want a couple of competitions, literally like first place, second, third. It don't matter to me as long as I'm winning, you know. But yeah, I didn't want a couple of competitions just strictly based off of that song and off my delivery. Now is getting better, of course. I just recently hopped off like the porch with my music career. Actually, in January of this year, December, I went off on the ledge and dropped my first song just to prove it to myself. You know, like if I can do it. And then in January, that's when I started being serious, and I linked in with Vonna 305. You know, she hit me up, and I'm like, well, I hit her up, and we linked in, and I'm just like, yo, next rooms. I'm in rooms, sitting at tables, and I'm like, yo, hold on, like I'm performing now, opening up for people like Trina, and you know, like, like it's getting real, you know what I'm saying? So, and I performed in Bottom of the Boot in front of them, like, I didn't know the pressure that song had until, like I said, I see y'all be juking, like y'all jigging, and I'm like, hold on, nah, like,
And so you got a music video coming soon?
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff coming soon, actually, like, a lot of stuff in the works.
Okay. So, what about the other avenues? Have you been thinking about doing any other avenues with streaming and any other things that could, you know, put more, you know, exposure to your music and your personality?
So, as far as streaming, though, I'm working on a clothing company right now. Yeah. Outside my music stuff, I kind of am somebody that's just in the back. You know what I'm saying? I'm just cool and I'm just chilling. I don't really like the limelight like that, you know, but I do what I got to do in order for my artistry to be what I want it to be, you know. But I also want to make something else with the DirtyMoneyYaya logo, just Dirty Money all together, you know what I'm saying, and create, you know, different things underneath there that generate multiple streams of income eventually.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, building multiple streams of income and, you know, having generational wealth.
Facts.
So, yeah, that's definitely something that, you know, our generation got to work on constantly and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay, so outside of that, who's some of the artists that you know inspires you and kind of influence your music, or even some of the?
Sheesh. So we're gonna start with Lil Wayne. You know, a lot of like my bars and metaphors that I go to hit for. I don't compare them to Lil Wayne, you know, but because he's a lyrical genius. But I definitely look at myself like, yo, like, could I sit in the room with him? Could I show this song to Lil Wayne? And he'd be like, in his head, like, yeah, that's hard. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely look up to him. I have like a lot of like local artists too that I look up to, like Marty Lou. You know, that's my cousin. He put in work. Like, he's a local artist and he's putting in work. You know what I'm saying? He doing the same thing we doing except in another, you know, city. So I definitely look up to him. But as far as like mainstream, Webby, bullshit, like, that's all me. You know what I'm saying? Like I get in the car and I turn Trill Fam, Young Savage. You know what I'm saying? I turn it on and that's it for me. I'm on a whole nother level.
Okay,
but,
so who would you like to collaborate in this generation? Like, since you know you feel like you're at this level, has there anybody in your thought that you're like, y'all ain't gonna mind if I had this person on this song?
Absolutely.
It would have probably been nice.
I'm going with Glorilla.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Like Glorilla, like I'm willing to invest in that and pay any feature in order to get her, because I know for a fact that when she on the song with me, we sliding, and that's it. I'm also I want to lock in with CMG. I had won a competition for Zillion Doe. I got to meet him and stuff like that. So I'm like, he's locked in with CMG. I'm like, I'm trying to lock in with CMG.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah, Glow. I gotta get another big Glow for sure.
Nice.
For sure.
That'll be dope. Okay, Gorilla. Mm-hmm. So So who else? I won't even just say collaboration, but what's some of the things that you've seen that, like, I'll say success, that you realize, okay, this is the route I want to take, but then also see some of the mistakes that you're like, okay, let me be careful, because I see what happened to this person. So if I'm going to get in the game, I want to make sure I double down on this, whether it's your work ethic, whether it's your public representation.
So a lot of the mistakes that I'm seeing and I'm learning from is all for myself. Everything that I'm doing right now, nobody done before that I know. And I'm not saying it like I just never, like I've met acquaintances along the way now that I've stepped into this light. But before then in my family, in my life, anybody never really, they're not doing this. So I haven't really learned from anybody else's mistake except my own. And it's just like, one, I had to tell myself, slow down. Like, I like the fast life. You move to Florida, it's like you get addicted to this fast life, the lights, the everything. So I had to tell myself to slow down at least once, like one day. Take one day out for yourself, some self-care, But that was the first thing that I learned was, you going way too hard, and your body's telling you something. But the second thing that I learned is that the reality is that nobody gonna do this music stuff for you. And everybody trying to be an artist. Like, I done met a lot of people now, especially I done met a lot of people that trying to do music, and we all trying to like make it. You know what I'm saying? So in the end, I'm just learning that, like, the work ethic. You gotta keep going. You gotta make sure, like, when I step into a room, I make sure that, like, y'all gonna hear me, y'all gonna see me, we all trying to do the same thing, but one of us gotta come out on top. And, I'm gonna take y'all with me, but at the end of the day, I'm kicking doors. Like, I'm literally kicking doors. Like, every room I'm stepping in, I'm kicking the doors. So.
Okay. Yeah. And so, you see, and I'm glad you mentioned some of those things, because I think when it's like, being a creative, you always have to find that space or create that space for yourself to stay focused and, eliminate the distractions and stuff like that. So what are some of the, I'll say, you already said that you learned from some lessons. What are some of the, like, challenges through your creative process that you've probably dealt with and able to, overcome at some point?
So challenges is mainly as far as, like, just self, like, trying to find time to continue writing my music all while being busy all throughout the week. I'm talking about, like, Sunday through Saturday, just busy, having something to do. So still trying to figure out how to, like, write my music, And like I said, that came from me learning how to, like, pace. That came from me pretty much telling myself, like, yo, slow down and just focus right quick. Like, we all try to get the same thing, but I don't know. I want something for myself, so I'm pushing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm pushing it probably a little bit more than what my body's telling me I should do. But what they say, what they really say, we're gonna sleep. We're gonna sleep when we there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm just trying to put that work in right now. The mistakes, they gonna come, you know, like, they gonna come, but I'm not somebody that typically make the same mistake over and over. Once I do it once, if it don't work out, I'm on to the next. We're trying to figure, we find a solution to it's not really a sit down type of situation. We standing up, we running towards the finish line, so we finding solutions, any mistake that it is, honestly.
Yeah, and I've noticed that, like, with different artists, you know, struggling with addictions and different lifestyles that kind of cripple their creativity or whatnot. Some able to, you know, overcome that and find a focus, and others able to, you know, end up getting, you know, bypassed because of the lifestyle and stuff like that. So, you know, for me, like, I'm glad you're able to express how you was able to, you know, get back to your focus center, and when it comes to your creativity. What are some of the things that, you know, like, if there's another artist coming up, what's some of the things that you tell them to do, or, you know, tell them that they need to look out for? What's some of the things that you say they need to look out for as being an artist, and know what type of investment and time that it takes, and devotion? Like, some people don't understand it's a sacrifice, and it's really like, you know, you eliminating distractions. You probably gonna have to sacrifice certain friends that you chill with just to be able to put in more time on this, you know, writing the music, you know, finding the producer to mix the music for you and stuff like that. So what are some of the things that you'll tell a young artist that coming right after you as you know, rise in your career?
So the first thing is that I felt like, you know, when I first, like I said, I just started working on music less than 6 months, not for real. So first thing I thought was, dang, this gonna be overnight. They gonna hear my music. You know, I was listening to it on the porch before I dropped it to anybody. Anybody is, I'm on the porch like, oh my God, I can't wait to get this to the world, you know? And I'm like, no, this is instant. This gonna be overnight, you know? And that's just the expectation, waiting for a fail. Like, you know, like, that rarely ever happens unless you got that set up, some TikTok, you know, viral, whatever, but they don't typically happen for everybody. So I would say to just, like, take some time, take 6 months to actually, like, perfect your artistry. It may not be perfect, but make it comfortable to you, you know? And, like, everything don't have to be perfect, because artist development comes, you know, as you performing and you putting yourself in certain rooms. You learn how to, like, talk about certain things, you know, what you can open up with, what you can't open up with, you know what I'm saying? So I would just tell an artist, take your time. Take your time, find your engineers. There's a lot of good engineers in this world, like, a lot of them, but there's only a couple of them that's going to find your voice. And I didn't learn to be loyal to the people that work with me, because in return, they're loyal to me. So if you find your engineer and that person found your voice, go back to them, you know, show them that love, because at the end of the day, like, we all are, in a way, just artists, you know? So, yeah, and what is something else that I learned?
What about, like, community, like your support team, your, you know, folks that you feel like that keep you, you know, drop that. The people that keep you hyped up and telling you keep going, and they see something that you see.
So I would be honest, like, most of my support system come from strangers. Like, let's be real, like, my social media and everything, you know, I went to unfollow everybody I want to. I grew up with you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not like I'm on something, I forget where I'm coming from. I'm not even there yet. I'm not even at the top yet to say it's lonely here, you know what I'm saying? But it's the fact that I didn't realize the head of the game that I can't take everybody with me, and it's going to be the strangers that take me where I need to be, you know? And instead of allowing myself to have hurt feelings about, oh, you're not sharing my stuff, you're not liking it, but you on social media, you're talking about, you ain't talking about nothing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, well, you really not talking about nothing, especially when it comes down to my artistry. And I started getting really, really serious about it, to the point to where it's like, you can go, you can go, you can go, and you can go. You know, and if you got to get to that point, do it. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, the strangers are the people that's going to take you to where you have to be. And the acquaintances that I've met now, the people that I've met because of the rooms that I didn't put myself into, those people are the people that support me. Other artists, you know, other artists like Exotic the Artist. You have Mo Kane, you have Jay Gambino. These are people that, like, support me at every show. Every show I'm at, they at, you know, and they have lights in my face. They recording it. You know what I'm saying? Because they see the vision, and it's the same in return when they on the stage or they doing something. It's like, I see the vision, you know? So you surround yourself with people that have like-minded, you know, ideas, just like-minded individuals, and in return, that's going to do something for you. You know, you're manifesting something for yourself without you even realizing what you're doing. You know, you're sitting at the table with people that has the same ideas as you, if not more. And at that point, y'all bouncing off of each other, you know. So my support system come from strictly what I'm building now. It's not coming from anybody that I'm taking with me. Yeah, I have my family, you know, but they have their life, you know, and I can't really, like, I have siblings and stuff, and like, you know, and they know what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying, but they still have their life. They still have school. They still have work. They still have careers. So the main support is coming from people that I'm building relationships with now. So don't be afraid to build those relationships. Don't be afraid to show that support, and don't be afraid to allow people, strangers, in, you know, and they gonna pretty much do that work for you, like.
Yeah. So pretty much, your family life is your family life, and your dream career life is your, career life.
Separate for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so how's your upbringing like?
My
upbringing, like where your city, where you coming up, like
Jeez.
who, you know, because us growing up, we always had hood superheroes or family that's a family member that, you know, that was always had a, you know, they had a character, or they always inspired us in some type of way, or be the one that encouraged us, or his grandma or his uncle always come, even though my mom got on my nerves, Uncle what's his name always gave me $20 to make me happy because mom was tough on me, you know what I mean, like, you know, give us a little taste of where you came from, what city you come from, and how it is where y'all from.
So Lake Charles, Louisiana. If you know anything about that, then you know, my gosh, like that's a war zone. Not even, it's a whole war zone. Like, it's like, you know, it's to the point now, like, families can't even have a good time, you know, outside. And, you know, and, like, that's another part, too. That's why I left home, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted something bigger for myself. Something had happened in my life that I'm not really ready to talk about yet. But, you know, it brought me to a point to where it's like, you know, you need to see something bigger. There's something way bigger out there for you, and it's not this, you know. So I put myself in that position to leave home, and for that reason, home is not somewhere that I would probably go back to without the means of making sure that I'm gonna make it back home, you know. So
and you see, I think because that experience or process or that life experience or journey, you know, was very personal. I think being the fact that you're an artist, that could translate eventually, you know what I mean?
It's a testimony.
Yeah, it could translate, and eventually when you have the courage and the time, it's always going to be, trust me, you're always going to feel the time to know how to express what you went through and how it should have been, or it should have not been that, or no, this is what it's going to be, you know what I mean? Whatever your message
so I feel like it's not even no more where this is shoulda, coulda, woulda, you know, this is what is, and this is what happened, and this is what we're gonna make of it, you know.
Okay.
And in the end, like you say, like, it comes out in ways, it's my testimony. My life is my testimony, and I didn't say it already, like, the world gonna hear me, you know, like, I didn't did time where you couldn't hear me, but now I'm front and center, so you gonna hear me, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's just what it is, you know. But as far as, like, you know, like having any type of, like, hood, let's just say hood superheroes or anything like that. Like, the only person that I really can say I looked up to throughout my life is my mama, you know what I'm saying? Like, she raised fatherless, single, you know what I'm saying? And, like, you can't give nobody no rule book, no guide as to how to do that.
Yeah.
And, you know, she did her best, regardless of the decisions that we made as humans, as individuals. My mama did her best, and in hindsight, I see that. You know, I ain't understand it growing up because I gave her hell. I was the one, and I'm still that child. You know what I'm saying? She prayed for me, so she know. You know what I'm saying? But I gave her hell. But in hindsight, I look back and I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like you got that. You know. But yeah, as far as like growing up in my hood, you don't really look up to people. You kind of look up to yourself, and you get yourself out of that situation. You know, there's no men in my life that it's like, you know, I got my father. You know, but he became a dad to me in my older years, you know, when I was able to calm myself down mentally and be the adult, you know. So when I'm able to be the adult, that's when our relationship got a little better. You know, he there for me now, but as far as like, you know, looking up to somebody, I looked up to myself. You know, a lot of decisions that I made them based off of what the knowledge that I had, you know, not no knowledge that nobody else had, the knowledge that I had, how I'm going to survive, what I'm going to do, you know. So, yeah. Probably my own superhero, if you ask me.
Your own superhero.
Yeah, we don't need no cape. We don't need no cape.
Okay. So, all right. So, where everybody can find your music, your platform, where they could listen to your songs.
So you can follow me, Dirty Money Yaya. That's Dirty Money YAYA on all platforms. You can hear Bottom of the Boot and Overdosing on all platforms too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was the Knothebrand Show. We had Dirty Money Yaya tonight. Man, she told you everything about her life, the music that she just made. You know, we got all the, up